thank you for clicking on this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy it. It's basically going to be a tutorial about creating an application using Python and JSON for the data. The application is a WordFinder application. So let's begin, and I hope you enjoy. And thanks again for clicking on the video. So I have my Python file already created, and I have the WordFinder.json data file, which you can download in the description if you would like. So let's begin by importing the libraries. Now, let's create a variable called d short for data. You can call it rainbow, you can call it whatever. It's up to you, I don't mind. We're going to open WordFinder.json. Cool. Now, let's define another variable called t for translate, or as you can call it whatever you want to call it. I'm just sticking that there because it makes sense to me. And we're going to put a nice little fix to this here, which is actually a bug actually if you left it out. Well, I would class it as a bug. So dot to lower. And you may ask, what is this if you've never seen this before? Some of you might have, some of you may have not. It's just basically putting the word to lowercase. So for example, if they enter the word, I don't know, rain, for example, and they put a capital R, then actually in the JSON file there's no such word as rain with a capital R. It's rain with a lower R. So this here simply fixes that. It saves a lot of hassle later on. So, and maybe other ways to do it. You know, if there are comment under the video, I would really enjoy seeing how other people do it. So now we have to make an if statement. And you may wonder, well, what is it? What is an if statement? An if statement is, if something is true, do this. If it's false, then do that. As simple as, if something is true, do this. If it's false, do that. And there's going to be a few if statements in this, else if, and so it's a nice program. It's a nice program to understand, because if you understand this here, it's quite good, because then you can take this further and maybe even put a graphical user interface into it, you know. So it's quite good to know. So if words in data return data and a list the word. So if the word is in data, return it. Thank you. Right. Else if let's get close, which is one of the libraries they're using. And pass the parameters of the word and the short for data keys. Data keys. And now we have to make another variable called yes or no, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be an input, so it's going to take from the user. So did you mean to put this into a string instead? Please, you know what, before I go on, I can put that into a new line. Please enter Y for yes or N for no. Cool. It's always good that they save as you're going along, just in case you get a power cut or you get an error. And it probably says here, says unused variable, because we've not used it yet, but we will use it. We'll use it now in a minute. I always find if you do save, after a few lines of code, it's easier to fix. If you fix a bug or an error, if you find one later. So if yes, no is equal to yes, then return the data, get close, pass the parameters like up in the top there, what we did, or above, the 2 lines, so data dot keys now. And what do we need to do then? Well, we need to do an else if again. So else if yes and no is equal to no, then I want the program to return saying I did not understand. No, sorry. Well, I did not understand the word, but I'm going to say I did, or I did, or let's just say I did not see that word in the data file. Or you could say the word doesn't exist. You can do whatever you want there. Now we move on, and we're going to go to an else now. So we're going to go else return let's say I wanted to I did not understand what you entered. Now, and the final else is going to take us out of the if statement completely, is return to me the word does doesn't exist. Please double check it. Thank you. Now we have one more thing to do, well, two more things to do. We have to come out at define statement, and we have to go in and we have to make another variable called user, where they equal to input, and we're just going to say I don't know what should we say. Well, let's just say hey I'm Mr. or Mrs. whatever, Mr. Word Finder. Let's go into a new line. Please enter a word. Cool. So now we have the whole program, and we just need to do one last thing. But hold on, we ran into an error here. What's the invalid syntax? Oh, not good. Do you know why? Because these if statements have to be in under that if, and this has to be there, because that's doing that. If this if is doing this, and then this is breaking out of that. So it's a very important thing to remember that, and that's why we save along. If we didn't save along, then we'd be thinking, oh no, you know. So it's quite good to know. So the last thing we to do is just print t and whatever the user says. Please enter a word. Let's see, cool. To make a cooler or colder, having slightly low temperature. Yeah, exactly right. Thank you. What if I ran it again and I put in too many O's? Oh, please. Did you mean cool instead? I did. Thank you. Awesome. So as you can see, we've made a simple application that answers our questions, and you could expand on this by putting in a while loop that will continue to ask the user questions, and it's so much you can do with this simple program. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.